Lugia VSTAR has taken the Pokemon TCG by storm since being printed in the Silver Tempest expansion. Have you ever wondered why Lugia VSTAR is so good, or what makes it one of the best cards of all time? In today's video, I'm going to evaluate Lugia VSTAR and tell you what makes Lugia Archeops one of the best decks ever. Hey guys, Olive Blitzel here, and I am back, and I am going to try to explain today why Lugia VSTAR is so good. I'm going to go over the attributes of the card, and then I'm going to go over what Lugia's strengths are and why it is so strong with this current card pool and standard, and then I'm going to go over some weaknesses, hopefully how to beat the deck, and then moving forward to the rotation. So first I'm going to go over every single attribute of the card. So the first thing we're going to note here is the HP and the type. Colorless type has never really been super great. It's only really as good as the supporting cards, and currently we're the only support cards we have like powerful colorless, so the typing isn't anything extraordinary, and the HP at 280 is fairly standard for your V-Stars, the same thing as like Palkia, Giratina, Dialga, Arceus, so nothing really to note down. The attack cost is 4 energy, which is a bit awkward, but it does 220 damage, and while that is not bad, it's not like one-shotting things. And then we are moving into the V-Star power. We can put 2 colorless Pokemon from our discard pile onto our bench. Colorless Pokemon that don't have a rule box. So, it's taking this at face value. Oh yeah, and our retreat cost is 2. We're weak to lightning, resistance to fighting. Lightning weakness isn't super relevant because we have Dunsparce. The retreat cost is fairly standard, if not slightly below average. We're just not, on the surface value on paper, nothing about Lugia is overwhelming. 220 damage for 4 energies, well that's good. It just sort of exists. Like, it doesn't do it with no energy acceleration, at least on the surface here. With no energy acceleration, there's nothing truly special about this card. Like, it has good HP, solid damage, and can cheat evolutions into play, but as a standalone card, Lugia is not anything impressive. Like, if I'm comparing it to something like Arceus V-Star, same HP, but Arceus has a more reasonable attack cost for 3 versus 4, can accelerate energies instead of other attackers, and has an ability that lets it set up. So you might be wondering, where am I going with this? And the point I'm trying to bring across is, like, it's a shame that we don't have some colorless stage 2 that can accelerate special energies, and that it's a sort of a mechanic that's been sort of the butt of jokes in the Pokemon community. Oh wait, we do! Archeops is also printed in Silver Tempest, and its Primal Turbo ability lets us attach 2 special energies from our deck to one of our Pokemon. Perfect! And now we can abuse all these powerful special energies like Aurora Energy and powerful colorless energy to always make it so our Lugias are hitting for big damage, and also Aurora Energies enables powerful backup attackers such as previously unusable amazing rares, and like pretty much makes the floodgates limitless. So what I'm trying to convey here is Lugia in and of itself is not a very powerful card. While its stats are decent, they're nothing to write home about, but it is enabled to be very good because of Archeops. Now I'm going to go over 3 points that I have to really try to illustrate why Lugia is so good. And the first one is it has good but not great stats. And even if your supporting cast is completely insane, you're not going to be a good card unless you have solid stats. And Lugia, while 200 HP is not anything special, 220 damage not anything special, to retreat is not anything special, it has good stats. Like, those stats are not anything spectacular, but they're still average to above average. So a card cannot be great. Even if it has great energy acceleration, it's not going to be good if it was doing poor damage or had not enough HP to be able to use multiple attacks. Lugia is good because it has decent stats. And one of the side effects to not having a rotation because of the pandemic and things like that is this card pool is as big as it's ever going to be. We have so many more cards, so this like sort of super format makes it so like a normally clunky mechanic like Fossil is very easy to tug it out. And like if we look ahead to the rotation, I don't think Lugia is going to be quite as top tier because it's not as easy to get 2 Archeops in the discard pile, because like in standard right now we have 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Incense, and losing Incense and Quick Ball are just such huge losses for the deck. Like, even subbing Nest Ball for Quick Ball, like that discard synergy is so nice, and even that discard synergy with the Aurora too, like those things are just so good. And then now we have to like rely on like Aroma and Great Ball and things like that, like Mesa Goza. Like, I don't want to play those cards, like, and that's why Lugia is so good, because I have access to everything that I need. And that's also why I feel like people think that the format feels so bad after rotation, because they're so used to like everything being so consistent, so efficient. And when everything rotates and the card pool is tiny, then it's just like, wow, everything sucks. Everything's just so slow. Everything's inconsistent. So, and then the final thing and the most important thing is, because of its baseline like relatively mediocre stats, Lugia is only going to be as good as its supporting cast. The supporting cast right now is insane, and that cannot be overstated at all. That it has, like, you don't see straight Lugia being a successful deck. You don't see like tank Lugia, like with Jaren and things like that being successful. And why is because it wouldn't be able to beat, like, it can't trade well with single prizes or something like that. And also we have this like Stoutland that can take multiple prizes on single prize Pokemon. We have Amazing Raikou that can also take two single prize knockouts. Radiant Charizard and Yveltal can just one-shot things. And Aurora Energy makes like all these worthless, clunky Pokemon into extremely easy and efficient to power up, which doesn't, like, these things have been, like, people have messed around with these amazing rare Pokemon forever, like using like the Blastoise from Pokemon Go, or doing silly stuff in Expanded, but like Arceus makes everything so easy. And I truly think if you delete Lugia and just like say that Omastar is the only way I can cheat Arceus into play, I still think Omastar would be good. But like, there's no reason to play Omastar and have a chance that my Arceus my Archons get knocked out before I can evolve them, when I can just drop those two Lugias into play for just as easy. And like, Omastar has Irida support, so it's like an incredibly efficient, easy thing to use. But Lugia is just better, and like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's an evolution. You have to get it in the discard pile, and like Omastar just needs a single attachment. But because of our super format right now and how deep the card pool is, it just is. And I think like, moving ahead to the rotation, the build that's seen the most success in Japan has been that single strike builds, and I do think that that's interesting. There is some merit to that single strike deck. That Tyranitar is a pretty good attacker, can one shot Mew. Stonejourner is a pretty efficient one-prize attacker, but it's not going to have that. It's not going to be as easy to get Arceus in discard pile, which is the most important part, because if you play Lugia, you know your game starts to crumble if you can't get two Arceus down on the second turn, which rarely happens, given, but and it's going to be a lot harder post-rotation. So the format is a huge reason to why Lugia is so good. Like, I believe if you put Lugia, like, you keep it with Arceus, you keep it with special energies, but you throw it in like 2019 Worlds format, where like the only search cards are like Cherish Ball and Ultra Space and Net Ball and Mysterious Treasure, Lugia would be garbage, because you couldn't get the Arceus into the discard pile quickly and efficiently, and you lose. So I feel like you kind of have to, when evaluating a deck like Lugia, to put it into like perspective, that like, I don't think it's ever going to be as dominant or even close to as dominant once rotation hits, because it's, I mean, I can't say never, because I don't know what they're going to print in the future. That they could just print even more efficient ways to get Arceus in the discard pile, reprint Rainbow Energy, things like that, which would obviously make Lugia a lot better. But this is a peak Lugia. It's never going to get any better than this. It's never going to be more efficient to get Arceus in the discard pile, never going to be better special energies, most likely never going to be better attackers. So if you're a Lugia fan, relish this while it lasts. It's kind of like an eclipse or something. Like, everything just happened to align perfectly. Lugia got printed in a deep format with busted cards, busted energies, so it just is really good. And now we're going to get into how to beat Lugia. The age-old question on how to beat Lugia. If I'm being terribly honest, there isn't a good way. And I see this sort of in jest, but kind of serious too, because really everything you can throw at Lugia, it has a decent response to, and that's why this meta is so scuffed. Because the most obvious way is like, oh, Lugia is a 2-prize Pokemon, doesn't I can hit it for weakness and one-shot it with a single prize. So there's plenty of solid Electric-type Pokemon. Should be very simple, right? Not really, because we have Dunsparce, and also Lugia just has great ways to trade up on even single prizes with Stoutland and Raikou. So that's not a very efficient way to beat it, because like in that we've seen time and time again in that Lost Zone box matchup, that first Lugia goes down to like a Dragonite or a Rayquaza or something like that, but Stoutland gets so much value, or Raikou gets a ton of value, or just like Marnie plus even Arceus is a solid attacker in that matchup. Like Lugia, it's a great deck, but like you see its supporting cast really show in those single prize matchups, because it couldn't be something like a Lost Unboxed on zone. Like Lost Unboxed is gonna be an easy time just picking through 3 Lugias. So, but with Stoutland, Raikou, even Archeops to attack with, the matchup isn't too bad because we just take multiple prizes, and they can't keep up sometimes. So like, okay, I'll just get rid of all Lugia's energies, and they can't beat me with that. Well, not only is Lugia playing 16 energies, which makes getting rid of all of them a tall task, but we have Lumineon, and we can throw all energies back to the deck over and over again. Like, Lumineon's a consistency card that also helps us beat one of our worst matchups. It's like ridiculous. Like, we're playing Lumineon. Like, Lumineon is first put in the deck, like, Luminous Science is good, it gets our supporters. But also, Aqua Return is insane against control, because I can one-shot a Yveltal, and I put it back into the deck, and then I have no energies that can crowd destruction. So, yeah, it's like, this deck has everything, and this is like a byproduct of this huge format having every single card that this meta just turns into. Well, we gotta beat Lugia. How are we gonna beat Lugia this weekend? We tried single prizes last week, let's try Energy Denial. Well, crap. Lugia played Snorlax, and Lugia played Lumineon. Well, I guess this week we'll try single prizers. Well, crap. Lugia's playing Raikou and Stoutland. We can't really beat them with single prizers. Well, let's try Paralysis. Well, darn it. Lugia's playing Birdkeeper and Snorlax. Well, I guess we just everyone plays Lugia now. That's basically like the stupid triangle that we're in. So, yeah, Lugia, it hasn't answered everything. Like, even I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Paralysis. I'll bring Articuno, Emergency Jelly, and I'll just spam max. Lugia plays no switching cards. Like, you see Lugia's play Birdkeeper. Like, Snorlax isn't a complete menace for those Paralysis decks to get through. And also those Paralysis decks, like, at least that straight Articuno deck, have very big holes against other decks. But that's beside the point. So, what I'm trying to get at here is that just that Lugia, because of the format, like, in conclusion, Lugia is very good because its stats are decent, and the Archeops is a great way to accelerate energy that is made very simple because of the very large card pool that we have right now, and also because of that card pool, we have so many amazing attackers, pun intended, and so many great ways to accelerate, or so many great energy cards to use those great attackers easily, so we can beat any matchup. And it's just a matter of, did I pick the right techs in my Lugia deck to beat your deck? Or did I win the coin in mirror? I know that's definitely too big of an overgeneralization, but it definitely feels that way because, well, Lugia cannot fit everything in their deck. Like, I cannot fit Vikavolt to beat Lost Box. I can't fit like Collapse and stuff to beat, and Dunsparce and stuff to beat Regis too. But if I can just guess right, and it's much easier to guess right than it is guess right the tech cards than it is to guess right the counters, because as someone who's playing a counter deck, I could face like my path to day 2 and to finals sort of hinges on what I face. And if I'm just playing hard Lugia counter, if I hit 3 decks other than Lugia day 1, I'm not going to make day 2, so what's the point of even playing Lugia? I mean, I know this is kind of a weird argument because, like, everyone should just play Lugia, right? Because it's the best deck. But, like, these, like, die-hard counter decks, like that Paralysis lock deck, like, they don't have a great matchup spread otherwise, and so it's just a really weird meta where, like, Lugia counters, for the most part, do, like, there's some decks that have solid Lugia matchups, like that Paralysis deck does pretty solid into, like, in a completely untapped Lugia, but then it's just completely willed to Lost Box into, like, Arceus Duraludon and other decks like that have a okay Lugia matchup. But so it's really weird because, yeah, I'm rambling on a little bit, but I'm just gonna sum it up all here. Lugia OP. It has great stats, great supporting cast enabled by the deep format, energy acceleration made easy because of the deep format. Like, that's pretty much the premise of this video. The too long didn't read, skip to the end. But how do you guys like this kind of video? I tried to make the edits all kind of cool and things like that. So if you enjoy this more in-depth kind of look at a deck, like, it's not super long. I try to get to the point quickly, but also has those fun edits and things like that. And let me know in the comments if there's any other deck you'd like me to sort of do this exercise with, like even in a deck, an older format deck, like Dark in Worlds format 2011 or something like that. I'm just giving an example. I can do that too, so any suggestions, I'll leave in the comments below. Thank you guys for all the support. We're over 200 now, and that's just absolutely awesome. So you guys are just absolutely the very best, and this has been all Blitzel. I'll catch you in the next one.